The Price of Freedom, written by Cody Trapp, narrated by Isha Fatima. Chapter 1. There once was a kingdom that was rich in both resources and conflict. Many neighboring nations sought the abundance of treasure located within, and it wasn't long before the raids were beginning to take their toll. Lacking a strong army, the king opted to make a deal with the dragon Nikolaos, a powerful creature who was well versed in ancient magic. He would use his magic to defend the kingdom as long as every future king granted a favor of his choosing. The king agreed, and soon a thick miasma surrounded the border of the kingdom. It created a swamp of deadly brambles and pitfalls that no creature could hope to tread through and survive. Decades passed before a new king took the throne. Nikolaos asked for a castle of his own to live in. Nothing fancy, no need for many servants, simply a quiet and elegant place to call his home. The next king extended Nikolaos' property to include the nearby forest. More years passed, and then the day came where the health of the king was starting to fail, leaving Princess Linnea to be the next to seek out Nikolaos and grant his request. She was a frail-looking creature with auburn hair and eyes that held an orange hue, not having seen much of the world. But she, like those who had come before her, set out alone to the dragon's castle. The castle was indeed small. It was built partially onto a hill and was comprised of a single spiraling tower. Time had not been easy to it, as vines of wisteria curled about the stone and had cracked it in several places. Undeterred from how abandoned it appeared, the princess dismounted and knocked feebly at the door. It creaked as it opened from the slight pressure she applied. She didn't know why she would think it would be locked. It was silly to think that a dragon would be concerned with home security. Her head shook away her foolish thoughts and called out loudly from the entrance. "Hello?" Her voice echoed about. It would appear as though the castle was built as an entrance to a large cave, which would explain how a dragon was able to live in such a tower. "Enter." A crackling voice called back. It spoke in a language she understood, but carried with it an inhuman nature that made the hair stand up on the back of her neck. Linnea was careful as she went. The hem of her skirt was lifted up so that it wouldn't be soiled as she ventured further within. Darkness soon gave way to the light of oil lamps hung up on the carved walls of the cave. A minor distraction to the sight of the creature that lay waiting for her at the back. What she noticed first were the bright lilac eyes and scales that shifted between blood red and deep purple in the flickering light. His horns gave off a faint light as his pale tongue flicked out of his mouth to clean a nostril. What shocked the princess most was the size of the creature as he slowly moved forward to give her a closer inspection. In truth, he was smaller than a horse, considerably shorter, but long-bodied, with an even longer tail. He quickly enveloped her as he looped about her body, careful not to touch her as he did so, and his back became rigid as he reared up to greet her eye to eye. "Maiden, why have you come to my den?" he croaked out. His breath had a slightly acidic scent to it that stung her nose, and it slowly flowed out of his mouth as a stream of blue fog. The princess took a step back, nearly tripping on him as she did so. She did her best to gulp down her fears as her fingers twisted about the fabric of her skirt. "My name is Linnea. I'm the princess of this kingdom, and my father is quite ill. It is time that I grant your request so that I may be crowned as queen." Nikolaos pulled away from her so that she had some space to move. He lowered himself down, and his wilted wings quivered with anticipation. "Time for my boon already." The tip of his tail twitched slightly as he thought. "A queen this time. You humans have matured ever so slightly since the time you were..."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?